Milo Yiannopoulos has been suspended from Twitter. This time, we're told it's permanent. Milo is a gay conservative journalist and activist. He's become sort of the de facto leader of the new alt-right movement. He's provocative, he's a very vocal free speech advocate, and he's the type of person who will say something super controversial just because he has the right to do so. Milo has been suspended from Twitter before. Despite having a huge following with over 380,000 followers, Milo's previously verified account lost its little blue verification checkmark a few months ago for reasons unknown. But now he's finished on Twitter altogether. So what did Milo do? Well, it's surprisingly tame, really. Actress and comedian Leslie Jones, who performs on Saturday Night Live and stars in the new all-female Ghostbusters movie, she complained on Twitter that she was receiving hateful and racist messages. And she was. Some of the things being directed at her were horrible and mean. But the hateful messages weren't coming from Milo. They were coming from anonymous trolls. The actress publicly complained, and Milo publicly responded. He mocked Jones with a tweet saying, quote, "If at first you don't succeed because your work is terrible, play the victim." Then in all caps he wrote, "Everyone gets hate mail." And he retweeted her complaint. Now, from best I can tell, mocking someone on Twitter does not violate Twitter's terms. And Milo's absolutely right. Everyone gets hate. It comes with the territory, especially for a high-profile Hollywood actress. You give up some of your privacy in exchange for all that fame and all that money. That's sort of how it's always worked. And look, some people are going to love you, other people are going to hate you. You have to deal with it. And if you can't, then don't put yourself out there. I get this myself, obviously on a smaller scale. But as a conservative writer and columnist in Canada, I deal with all kinds of both haters and people who like and appreciate my work. But unlike Leslie Jones, I don't dwell on the hateful messages I receive. In fact, I barely notice them, especially not on Twitter. That's because Twitter has already solved this problem. Twitter literally has a mute button. If someone is being hateful or misogynistic towards me, even if someone is just being rude and swears at me, I won't think twice about muting them. It's simple, it's quick, and then you never have to see that person's tweets ever again. They won't show up in your news feed and they won't show up in your notifications. So that person can go ahead and sit in their mother's basement and tweet hateful and ignorant things at me till his heart is content. I won't see it and therefore I won't care. And look, if you really want nothing to do with someone on Twitter, you can also just block them. Then they can't even mention you and they can't see your own tweets and they can't access your page. But rather than using these existing built-in tools, Jones took the bait from Milo and engaged in a Twitter debate. She responds to Milo by saying that she had reported him to Twitter and that she hopes his account gets locked. That's like the equivalent of losing a schoolyard fight and then bragging that you're going to go tattletale and run off to the principal. Unfortunately for Leslie Jones, her tweet was riddled in grammatical errors, so Milo teased her for being barely literate. Then Jones shot back and mocked him, saying that he was a bad columnist. Someone named John S. chimes in, saying, quote, "How sad that a comedian would want to limit free speech. Lenny Bruce is rolling over in his grave," unquote. To which Jones, who remember is supposed to be the victim in all this, well, she tweeted back, saying, quote, "Lenny Bruce wasn't about hate. You racist bitch. How dare you say his name," unquote. Yikes. So it's okay for her to be misogynistic and hateful, but it's not okay for those tweeting at her. Right. Also, pro tip to Leslie Jones, this guy has an egg as his profile picture. He has 24 followers. You don't need to respond to him. In fact, you probably shouldn't. You're just amplifying his message and giving him a huge platform. But that's what she did. She had a massive temper tantrum, and she got her way. Milo is now off Twitter, supposedly for the crime of participating in or inciting targeted abuse of individuals. Look, Leslie Jones was doing the exact same thing. She was retweeting people who were insulting her and calling on her Twitter followers to abuse them. You know, she was doing the same thing. Of course, she's not a conservative, so she didn't get any discipline. Look, this story isn't going anywhere. And plenty of people who don't like and don't agree with Milo are going to join his side and start questioning why Twitter decided to silence him. Ironically for Twitter, the hashtag #FreeMilo began trending on their site the day after they kicked him off. You know, Twitter has sadly become notorious for this kind of bias. It allows ISIS terrorists to post images of their murder, and to celebrate attacks, it allows ISIS to push out their recruitment videos. It also allows dictators and tyrants from some of the worst places in the world to post their propaganda, including Iran's Ayatollah Khomeini, who regularly calls for genocide against Jews on Twitter. It allows hateful messages inciting violence and murder against law enforcement and police from Black Lives Matter activists. And yet, a gay conservative provocateur is not allowed to tease a wealthy Hollywood celebrity? You know, the double standard here is just deplorable. Look, I get it. Twitter is a privately run, publicly traded company, and its only job at the end of the day is to make money for its shareholders. That's fine. It can turn into an echo chamber for the regressive left and for Islamists, if that's all it wants to do. And that seems to be the direction it's going. But as it cracks down on conservatives and as it limits free speech on its medium, it's just going to lose its relevance. Twitter has failed to grow, its stock price is stagnant, and it slowly seems to be going the way of Friendster and MySpace and Google+. I'm not sure how much longer it'll be around, especially with the growth of other fun social media sites that have broad appeal, like Snapchat and Vine, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, etc. Milo Yiannopoulos, on the other hand, he isn't going anywhere. If anything, this whole ordeal is just going to boost his profile and help him grow his audience even further. Shame on you, Twitter. And Milo, keep doing your thing.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.